Bowen to replace Salah, don't make me laugh. He's nowhere near it. If Salah goes, we need an all-out Mbappe or someone of that quality, not a maybe. So, let me just say first and foremost, it isn't me that came up with the Jarrod Bowen option as a replacement. The Athletic are the ones who've mentioned that Jarrod Bowen, along with numerous others I should say, is being looked at as a potential. Now, I'm in the middle. I think Jarrod Bowen is better than he gets credit for, but I also understand wholeheartedly that he isn't Mohamed Salah. And he's also going to be, I think, 27 by the time we would get to sign him if we did go in for him. I think if my memory's right, his birthday is December and he turns 27. So for the money that West Ham would ask for him, it would be unusual for FSG to sanction that, I feel, for somebody who's going to be 27 years of age. But we can talk about that. There are other players who've been linked as well, so it's not just Jarrod Bowen. So, yeah. But I want to just make clear as well, the Athletic did not come up with a £60 million valuation. That's from a previous article that was put up. It was we're trying to find a number because I've no idea what Jarrod Bowen's market value is. And there was an article in the past there that said 60 million was the number 3 weeks ago, actually. West Ham are going to look for 60 million if they move on Bowen. So that's where the number came from as well. This video is sponsored by Surfshark, the best VPN on the market. Surfshark is an app or browser extension that allows you to change your location to access websites in other countries and keep you safe and secure from hackers. Using Surfshark, we here in Ireland can access other countries' Netflix libraries or other streaming platforms like DAZN in Spain for all those important Premier League games. Surfshark keeps you safe and private by protecting everything you do online. Everything. When your device connects to the internet, all that information is, in a way, blurred out. Surfshark is particularly useful for keeping you safe from being hacked if you use public Wi-Fi. Let's say you're in a cafe, you're at college, you're out and about, they've got you covered. Surfshark allows you to use one subscription on unlimited devices, meaning you can share your account with friends or family or that neighbour who's a little bit cheap. On top of all of this, Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can also upgrade to Surfshark One, which includes the VPN, an alert system for breaches related to your data, such as emails and credit cards, and an antivirus software for your desktop. Our sign-up offer gives you Surfshark VPN for a little over €2 a month, and you'll get an additional 3 months free. Simply scan the QR code on screen right now or use the link in the description and enter the code Anfield Agenda at checkout. Thank you, Mikhail, appreciate you. Bowen would be another Jota for me. Look, Bowen would be grand. Like, I like Jarrod Bowen as a football player. But yeah, you can't come in here in all seriousness and say that he'll come in and do Mohamed Salah things. He wouldn't. He'd do well. He's a good footballer, Jarrod Bowen. Works very hard. And there's a lot to like about him. But yeah, to say you're going to replace a legendary goal scorer at Liverpool with Bowen would kind of leave a lot of fans scratching their head. I think we'd be more understanding if you were looking at somebody maybe 21, 22, 23 that has a really high ceiling. Somebody like Nico Williams, the younger brother of Iñaki Williams at Athletic Bilbao. And I'll move to speak about him a little bit later on as well. Adeyemi's class and can get to the Salah levels. Yes, he can. We tried, or we were linked with Adeyemi before the Dortmund career of his exploded. And look, Adeyemi I love. Adeyemi is a very, very good young footballer, and I think a lot of us would be more than happy to have Karim Adeyemi in a Liverpool shirt at some point. Bowen has 3 goals and 1 assist this season after 4 matches, so he won't be a full replacement, but he will fill a gap. There's no Salah-like out there, said Ranesh, excuse me. So there's a few names, and we'll touch on a few of them tonight. I mean, we all know about Kvaratskhelia, we all know about Rafael Leao. As I said earlier on, Nico Williams is a name that's come up as well a couple of times, the younger brother of Iñaki Williams, who more people may know about. And it's going to be interesting to see how the club go about replacing Mohamed Salah when he moves on. I think it's going to be next summer, so if it is going to be next summer, I think Liverpool should be looking to succession plan now is the right term, I think. Lucas said, found out Leao has a release clause. Oh, does he? Oh, hello. I didn't know if he did or didn't have a release clause, but I do like the idea of a release clause because we love a release clause, Lucas, don't we? We're very good at triggering those release clauses. What about Vinny Junior? Again, his name was mentioned in an article, Mikey, which seems crazy, right? Because I don't think even the most deluded of us Liverpool fans think we can go in there and start poaching Real Madrid's top players. There would have to be a reason why Vinicius Junior would want to leave Real Madrid, and at the moment I'm not aware of any such reason. But I mean, look, if you're running a list of targets or great players in wide positions in the world, you would have Vinicius Junior on that list, definitely. But the realistic side of it is, we're not going to be going and buying Vinicius Junior off Real Madrid. Nico is good and won't cost that much. Would be up for a move for him in January, said Nkosi. Yeah, I knew a lot more about Iñaki Williams, and had watched Iñaki Williams develop at Athletic Bilbao. Started to see more and more of Nico Williams, obviously, over the last year, and he certainly looks like the more talented of the two Williams brothers. But in fairness to them, two very good football players. But yes, it's no surprise to me that Nico Williams is on the list, because I think he should be on the list. Only one person to fill the role. I don't know, Stevie. It's a difficult one, because we can all sit here and say it's going to be pretty much impossible to go out there and find one person who can take those numbers on board, the goals and assists that we get from Mohamed Salah. So yeah, I think I'm interested to see what the club look to do. Do they go and bring in a like-for-like replacement, or do they maybe bring in two players? And I guess we're going to find out over the course of the next 6 to 9 months. I'd rather play Doak than Bowen. I was going to say Boak. I was going to combine them both. Yeah, look, we can't ignore Ben Doak in this conversation, and you're absolutely right to bring him up. Who was it that said that? Jack. You're absolutely right, Jack. We can't just ignore the huge talent that is Ben Doak, which is why I think we're likely to see Liverpool bring in somebody a little bit different. Like somebody mentioned Florian Wirtz a little bit earlier on. I think they're on the right track there. That kind of link-up player, I think we could see come in rather than a like-for-like right winger. Craig, would you ideally get another left footer for the right wing? It's tough, Harry, because, as somebody mentioned, we can't forget about young Ben Doak. And I don't know if we're going to try and just keep this exact same system and just do it again, bring in another right winger. I think probably two players will be brought in. One will be like somebody like a Florian Wirtz maybe, and the other maybe a young winger that we could pick up for a reasonable fee and take our time with. But we have Ben Doak, so it's so difficult to make that guess, because we could have a conversation right now and we could all in good conscience say we want to bring in, let's say, Nico Williams. But then we could see Ben Doak tear up the Europa League this year and start making it into the matchday team, and then we could be thinking, oh, wow, well, now we have a challenger for Salah already. So, it's difficult. It's tough to know right now, but we're fans. We got to talk about it. Would I take Vinicius Junior? Yeah, of course I would. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the chat who wouldn't take Vinny Junior. He's, apart from the fact he's the wrong side of attack for the area we're talking about, he's amazing. He is amazing, but Real Madrid aren't going to leave Vinicius Junior head off. I'm going to move on to talk about Mbappe in a little bit, because maybe my perception of this is wrong. My reading of it from the Madrid side is not as arrogantly confident as I would have expected for a player who, again, is technically out of contract at the end of this season. There's been some stuff in the Spanish media, saying that they're looking at alternatives if a deal didn't go through for Kylian Mbappe to go to Real Madrid. So I really don't know, because they've got Endrick coming in. Isn't it next season? Or maybe there's one more season after that. But I know Endrick has been agreed. He's going to come in from Palmeiras. They've got Rodrigo. If they brought Mbappe in, you'd probably still argue they're short of a central striker of the levels that you would expect at Real Madrid. So, a Haaland-esque type striker. Martinelli, Sané, or Vinny Junior, or Mbappe. Of all the names on that list, and I will move on to talk about Mbappe in a minute, I think Martinelli is one that at least I know Klopp is and has been an admirer of. I think it's been written about quite a bit. Right, let's talk about Kylian Mbappe for a minute, because I mentioned to you guys yesterday that Get French Football News said Liverpool remains an option for Kylian Mbappe, and he could be tempted if a bid were to be made by the Anfield club. But more stuff has come out again today around Liverpool's interest in him. It doesn't seem to be going away. And I wonder what you guys think, because one article I read, or one post I read, said that if ever there was a time that it's affordable for Liverpool to look at Kylian Mbappe, now is that time, because in January you could sign him on a pre-contract, and although you'd have a huge signing on fee, there'd be no fee to pay to Paris Saint-Germain. So you just have to look at his wages over the course of the time he was here, and of course signing on bonuses and stuff like that. But does anybody think there's a chance? Anyone at all? You know, so I've seen it in the media, and I've seen, as I said, maybe a few doubts from the Madrid side for once, but I just can't see a world where we outlay that much money on wages, even for somebody like Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe is not a team player, won't be good for team spirit, and I agree. Like, from a footballing perspective, I think we'd all say Kylian Mbappe is incredible and is a game changer and can win games on his own. But I'm right with you with regard to, I don't get mad team player vibes off him. I don't. And I'm right with you. I think it's too much of a distraction for it to benefit the team as a whole. Mbappe's 25, not a youngster. Yeah. But it also feels like he's been around a very long time, right? Because he broke through at 16, 17 years of age at Monaco. I just don't see the whole package being worthwhile for Liverpool with Kylian Mbappe. Because I do think, with all the goodwill in the world, I think he'll be a distraction. And Jurgen Klopp doesn't strike me as the type of player to pamper, or manager to pamper anybody. And we know that, you know, he doesn't stick up for any disciplinary nonsense. We've seen Sacco, booted out, and a few others. So, yeah, I don't see it. Don't see it happening. But if Mbappe doesn't go to Liverpool, I certainly do hope he ends up outside the Premier League, because I don't want their defenders having to defend against Mbappe a couple of times a season. Oh, I know what I remember now. Real Madrid were looking at Julian Alvarez. That was the piece I read. They said that if Real Madrid miss out on Kylian Mbappe, they're looking at Julian Alvarez from Manchester City as a potential signing, which probably makes more sense for them than Kylian Mbappe, because they need a central striker. And Mbappe, I guess you could say he can play in any of the attacking positions, but Alvarez would give them more balance, in my opinion. But then again, they'd have to get him out of Manchester City, which won't be an easy task. Lewis said, "Hey Craig, with us rejecting 100 million for Salah this season, what figure would you be happy with next summer?" Well, we rejected 150 million this summer, and I think next summer we'll be lucky to get between 70 and 100. Because it's all very well and good us sitting here saying, but Saudi want them. Saudi. Fair enough. But they don't throw around massive transfer fees willy-nilly. They will pay players a lot of money. But if you look at the players that they've brought into the league, is Neymar the highest? 70 million or whatever it was to PSG? I think they'll know. Obviously, Mohamed Salah has 1 year to go on his Liverpool deal. I think if you're looking for comparables, you've seen Harry Kane go to Bayern Munich. He's a year younger than Mo, I think, and in a similar situation. They got about 100 million, I think. So I think somewhere between 70 and 100 million is probably the realistic number. El Ghazi to United, I mean, for the love of God. So Mark's put in, exclusive, Manchester United consider shock move for ex-Aston Villa winger Anwar El Ghazi as amid uncertainty over Anthony and Jadon Sancho's future. I am enjoying the fuckery at Manchester United at the minute, because they're in the headlines every week now for the wrong reasons. And once again, it seems like whoever's bringing the players into Manchester United is not doing a very good job at looking into the whole picture, shall we say, when they're doing the recruitment. Like, the Sancho situation is very, very weird. Now, I know part of the reason Jadon Sancho didn't play was because of his mental health, and that's absolutely understandable. But for the rest of it, like, mental health can hit anybody. And I truly believe that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a multimillionaire like Jadon Sancho or you're struggling and you're getting by week to week. It has the same impact on you. It's debilitating, and I would never wish it on anybody. So for that aspect, full support to Jadon Sancho. But the rest of it, the kind of stuff that seems to be going on between him and Ten Hag, and, you know, stuff around his attitude or being late for training, stuff like that, you wonder why they spent the money, because they took long enough to come to the deal to buy him. So they would have had plenty of time to do their research, and it just hasn't worked at all, has it? Do we need a replacement for Salah because Szoboszlai can move to right wing. Absolutely he could, Charlie. Yeah, there's a very valid argument to say between Szoboszlai, Ben Doak and Elliott and Cade Gordon and maybe Trent Cone-Doherty coming down the line, that yeah, we could have many options for that right hand side, which is what makes this so intriguing to me. I don't know if we will bother going for like or if we change it up completely, because right now Cade Gordon's coming back from injury. I think he was 18 months out with injury. He's played for the under-21s, I think. We've got Trent Cone-Doherty who's coming through, obviously came from Derry City across, younger again. What else is there? Ben Doak, of course, who I think will light up the Europa League this year. I'm really looking forward to him getting stuck into some group games. And as you've mentioned, Szoboszlai could go out to the right side, and if Jones continues his progression, Jones could take up the other number 10 spot in the two attacking midfield spots. Obviously, one of them would probably be McAllister and then Jones secondly. So these are all good headaches, though. Like, I'm glad we have these options. Of all the players we've mentioned, and we went through 8 options, Rafael Leao is the one that you guys have voted, the one that you would most likely to see come in as a Mohamed Salah replacement. Second place was Saka, third place was Kvaratskhelia, and Jarrod Bowen in fourth.